Yo, what's up YouTube? This is Art Capital coming at you with charting class number 3. Today we are going to go over our first individual stock here being Tesla. The reason why we're going through this first is because we actually swung this today. We swung the 400 expiration calls. These are 400 strike calls for Friday next week expiration. We have around 9 days left of expiration on these contracts, anticipating for Tesla to break out of this 180 zone that we're going to actually break into here in class. So, as you guys know, we go over similar levels on every chart because every chart has the same levels that can be identified, right? Simple as that, guys. So, we're going to be going over previous day high, previous day low, previous day close, gap levels, psych levels, and we're going to be going over Tesla-specific higher time frame zones, right? So, let's get into it, guys. So, Tesla has its own personality. Same levels as SPY and QQQ, completely different behavior, right? So, we already went over what SPY and Q is, right? SPY is the broad 500 stock index, slow, predictable moves, gaps are rare and small, psych levels are every $5 to $10 increments, institutional and methodical, and follows macros closely. Then you have QQQ, which we always watch paired along with SPY. This is the tech-heavy 100 stock index. Faster than SPY, still structured. You guys can see that on days where both are weak or both are strong, usually QQQ is the one leading, right? So every strike level is, once again, every $5 to $10 increment. It's volatile but readable and leads SPY most days, just like I mentioned right now. So what is the difference with Tesla, guys? Tesla is a individual stock. It's a single stock that is driven by pure emotion, guys. If you guys know, Tesla and Elon and all of this hype and all this train has turned it into genuinely a cult stock where it doesn't matter what's really happening with the company. It matters how popular Elon is and what he's doing personally rather than just the company of Tesla. As you guys know, Elon Musk is a businessman. He has a lot of different endeavors. So whatever he's doing can move a stock, even if it doesn't have to do with a Cybertruck or anything. You know, just meeting up or being friendly with the president. We've seen this in the past, how Tesla's reacted off of driven catalysts. So on Tesla, it's more common to see a 3 to 8% move in one session compared to SPY or QQQ, where we're seeing a to 3% move, 3% on the higher side, right? 1% on the more normal side. Gaps consistently on any news, guys, right? So when Elon is in the world, when he's doing things, when he's interacting with either the government or with other countries, you tend to see Tesla get really gappy. I don't know if you guys have been trading last 2 years, but initially in that, like in the end of 2025, Trump's election, we've seen a lot of rally on Tesla. Why? Because Elon was really close to Trump, right? There was a lot of news coming out. There was news catalyst with the stock, but paired along with that, political catalyst, guys, right? His image is very important to him. Any image destruction or anything that can make him look good is going to make the stock move, right? It's not the same deal with SPY or QQQ, right? This is how Tesla really moves, and if you can understand that and you can learn how to read news catalyst, you'll be able to play Tesla a lot better paired alongside lovely SPY and QQQ. So for Tesla, the psychological levels are marked every $10 to $50, and those every $100 is huge, which we're going to be going over here shortly, guys. So just like I was mentioning, it's Elon driven and it's news reactive. So it leads and lags the market, guys. So as you guys seen today, when the indexes were selling off in the afternoon, Tesla was still strong. Tesla was still holding above the cloud. Tesla was doing exactly what we wanted it to do, right? So Tesla gaps consistently and it has higher time frame zones that act like walls. Learn these and you're ahead of 90% of retail traders. If you guys know my history with Tesla, I used to trade Tesla every single day. It was my SPY. You know, I wouldn't even touch SPY. I would just trade Tesla every single day of the week, just scalping it. Hello. So the 6 levels for Tesla. your 5 standard levels plus 1 Tesla specific level. Mark all of these before every session. As you guys know, we're going to mark out our previous day high, previous day low, and previous day close. These are going to be consistent with every single charting class, guys, so get used to it, right? Anything we can do is we can go through all three and then mark all three, right? So let's do that really quick. So previous day high is yesterday's highest price. This is critical resistance on a high beta emotional driven stock, right? This is a highly emotional driven stock, guys. So what is this? Previous day high on Tesla hits differently because Tesla carries so much retail attention and intraday emotion. Previous day high often is the first major battleground of the session. It can gap right over it or slam into it and reverse $10 in minutes. Your plan needs to exist before price arrives. So, you guys hear me say every morning, oh, Tesla's doing this against this level, Tesla's doing this against this level. Why do we mention it so much? It's because we know if we see a rejection, it's most of the time going to be a $6 to $10 rejection, right? That's pretty normal for Tesla. It's more volatile than something like SPY or QQQ. If you've been trading even just this year, you guys have seen the intraday swings that he makes. So going into how you can take advantage of previous day high. So if you're approaching from below, Tesla's grinding up towards previous day high. This equals a caution zone. Do not buy into it. Wait for the reaction. It'll be fast and clear, right? Then you have a clean break above. When you see a strong candle going through previous day high with volume, let me say that again, with volume. You guys always want to use these volume candles at the bottom of the chart to see if it confirms your move or not, right? So that equals momentum call, right? That equals going with the momentum after seeing a breakout of a major level being previous day high. Tesla breakouts can run $5 to $15 fast. Enter and trail your stops, right? We're always mentioning how you need to manage your position accordingly, especially on a stock like Tesla, which can pull back and continue to go up with more volatility. So it requires a lot more discipline and patience, guys, right? To the next possibility is a rejection at previous day high. So let's say you're getting a lot of wicks to previous day high and it closes back below. Let's say you see 2, 3, 10-minute candles wick above but close right below. This is going to equal that sellers are defending this, right? It equals that there is a ceiling that you're most likely not going to break through unless you see some sort of momentum or volume pickup on the indexes, right? This is why we always use SPY and QQQ for correlation, because let's say Tesla is stuck under previous day high, but it's already made that initial move up, and then you see SPY and Q start to make the move up, but it hasn't quite done the same thing as Tesla yet. By the time SPY and Q come up to that same area that Tesla was reaching in comparison to like high day or previous, like the high day for that day, you seeing if Tesla's going to break over level. You know, time it comes back, SPY and Qs, it's already above on Tesla, right? That's what I'm trying to say. It usually runs the move. So the next possibility that you have here is a reclaim after rejection. So Tesla fakes below previous day high, then rips back above. This equals a short squeeze, one of the most violent call setups on the stock. So what is the ARC rule here? Tesla moves fast at previous day high. Have your call or put plan ready before price gets there, not after, right? We've seen it multiple times where Tesla just gets over previous day high and absolutely rips. So it's very important to know and have a plan, be able to react and not try to predict, guys. So going over to the next slide here, previous day high Tesla breakdown, real scenarios, real numbers, real setup. Scenario number A, Tesla hit 285 yesterday but couldn't hold it. Closed at 280. Previous day high is at 285 today. The first push to 285 intraday, watch for a reaction, right? So you're looking at that previous day high, looking for a $5 move to the upside and seeing how you're going to react. How many times have we done that here, guys? How many times do we wait for it to come to the level and see how we're going to react before taking it early? You guys hear it all the time when I say, oh, I'm going to wait to see how it reacts. So, scenario B, Tesla opens up strong, pushes to 285.50, so 50 cents above that previous day high, and holds on a 5-minute close. That's your breakout confirmation. This equals calls with momentum if the volume confirms the move, right? Oh, yeah. Scenario C, Tesla reaches 285, wicks to 286.20, but then drops to 281. Resistance held. Puts are in play if it loses 280 next, right? So you're always waiting to see if the level's held or not, right, guys? So how to use previous day high today? You mark it in the pre-market. We're going to do it right now. Session opens. Watch the first test. It's either going to be a breakout or a rejection, and execute your plan. So going to the chart here, I'm going to switch my screen for you guys. We're going to mark out our previous day high. Let me see here. Okay. You guys see my screen? We're looking at Tesla here. Good old Tesla on the daily time frame. Let me know. Can you guys see my screen? Your guys' chart pulled up as well here. Let me know if you guys are ready to continue. Yes, sir. Okay. We're going to be looking at this most recent close here, which will be our previous day high for tomorrow when the market opens. Simply what we do is we go to the most recent daily candle here. Then you're going to go highest point of that candle, which would be at the top of the wick here. And that level right there is lining up with 383.28, guys, right? So 383.28 was the high of day here on Tesla today. Actually, no, it wasn't. Give me 1 second, guys. Marked it just above. Okay. 383.15, guys. And 1 cent off. We still good. Okay. How are you guys going to play this tomorrow, right? If price closed at 381.26 and we open up below 383.15, how are we playing this tomorrow, guys? If we see a break above 383.15 and a hold, we can assume that we're good to hold our calls, correct? Does that make sense to you guys? Right? Okay. What else? Let's say we open up above 383.15. How are we gonna use previous day high? You can use that as a support. If we open up above and we gap up, right? It could come down to the candle close, but you can use that as your first layer of support to see if you're gonna hold the swing or not. Right? Right now we are pretty flat in the after hours, so this is going to be our first level to the upside that we are looking for, either support, a breakthrough, or a rejection, right? So going back to our next levels here, let me move forward. Let's see here. Boom. Okay. So what's our next level, guys? Previous day low. This is yesterday's lowest price. The line between a bounce and a flush, right? What does that mean? Previous day low on Tesla is a critical pivot because Tesla trades on emotion. When previous day low breaks, stop cascades happen fast, and the move is sudden and large. A hold of previous day low, on the other hand, can spark and sharp reversal bounce, especially when it overlaps with a psychological level, right? So we've seen that a million times where opens up the first 30 minutes, we're moving kind of choppy, and then we finally make that break below day, and you see a 5-10 point drop in the matter of 10 minutes, right? So reason why previous day low matters so much is because this is an emotional stock, guys. If people see that we're already breaking previous day low, the sellers are just going to be more influenced to sell lower, right? It's an emotional stock, right? So the VIX affects Tesla a lot, guys. Why do you think we were depending so much on that 25 rejection, right? So let's say price is holding above previous day low. Tesla pulling back from a bounce at previous day low. This equals buyers defending. Call bounce set up with a tight stop just below previous day low can be one of the ways that you play it. Let's say the price gets a clean break below previous day low. Previous day low breaks with a big red candle. This equals puts stay in play. Don't try to catch the knife. Let it break and retest. We always wait for the retest, right, guys? That doesn't change. Let's say price wicks below but closes above. Price dips under previous day low briefly, then snaps back up. This equals stop hunt complete. Sharp bounce incoming. Call set up, then on the reclaim, right? Where you get that sharp buyback where you get that rejection wick to the downside and where it's the start of that call setup. Then you also have when price previous day low, when price reclaims low after a breakdown. Price broke down, longs flushed, then rallies back above previous day low. This is a reversal setup. Wait for the confirmation candle, then calls. We've seen it where it recovers, where it holds, and where we continue with whatever direction the overall market is taking us, right? Following SPY. So what is the ARC rule? Previous day low on Tesla is the morning floor. React to what price does at it. Don't predict it, all right? So going over to the next slide, the scenarios on Tesla. Scenario A, Tesla's previous day low is at 272. During that session, it pulls back to 272.30, so 30 cents above that previous day low, and holds with a hammer candle. This is a call bounce setup, targeting previous day close at 278. Scenario B, Tesla breaks below 272 with high volume and a wide red candle. Don't buy it, let it flush. Puts are in play, targeting 265 psychological level next. Scenario C, Tesla dips to 271.50 below previous day low, shakes out the weak longs, then snaps back above 272. That reclaim is your aggressive call entry, right? So let's go over marking our previous day low here on the charts, guys. Boom. Let's make sure that the video can see it too here. Okay, so back here on our daily candle, guys, we're going to mark the lowest point on this daily candle, which would be the bottom of the wick, right? So if we just mark this right here, boom, your previous low a day is going to be 374.08, right, guys? We got that marked? Cool. Right, so now you have your range that you're going to see, right, your ceiling and your floor once price opens up in the morning. Very simple stuff, guys, right? Let's continue forward here. Are you guys ready to go forward, or should I give you guys a minute to chart this out? Yes, I like today, Danny. All good. She was so beautiful today, I know. We're going to go over it after class ends. We'll do a little TA on Tesla for our swing. Hello. We ready to move forward, guys? Throw a 1 in the chat when you guys are done marking out your previous day high and previous day low so we can move forward, guys. Let's go here. Let's move forward. All right, switch the class there. Okay, so what is our next level, guys? You know it is previous day close. This is where yesterday ended. This sets the overnight bias for before a single trade is made. So what is it? Previous day close tells you immediately whether institutions were buying or selling Tesla overnight. Because Tesla moves heavily in the pre-market on news, tweets, macro data, gaps above or below previous day close, happens consistently and sets the entire morning tone. Knowing which side of previous day close you're on is step 1 every morning. How do you tell if we're above or below previous day close, guys? It's pretty simple. It's just seeing if we're up or down on the night market, right? So if you just take a look at your watch list right now and you look at Tesla, it says night and then it says minus 0.31%. So that means right now we're under the previous day close. What does that mean? Overall, institutions are selling Tesla overnight, right? It's pretty flat. We haven't really moved. If it's anywhere from a 10 to 20 cent move, it's nothing to really worry about, guys, right? If you see that Tesla's down 1% overnight, then it's something that you should be taking into account and writing that down in the morning going into your next day. Does that make sense? Okay. What are some of the things that can happen with price, right? Let's say price gaps up above previous day close. Tesla opens above yesterday's close. This equals overnight demand. Previous day close becomes your first support on any early pullback, right? So previous day close and then that previous day low. Those are going to be your 2 ideal support levels that you're going to mark out every day, right? If Tesla's gapping up. So let's say price gap down below previous day close. Tesla opens up below yesterday's close. This equals overnight sellers in control. Previous day close becomes a resistance. Fade rallies back to it. Okay, so let's say that price opens at previous day close. Flat, just like I was saying. Rare on Tesla means indecision. Wait for the first strong 5-minute candle to break above or below before committing, right? Using our 30-minute rule, we already avoid any fake moves. Then you have when previous day close flip. Let's say Tesla gaps down, sells off, then rallies back above previous day close. This is one of the cleanest reversal call setups on this stock, right? When you can see a stock go from red to green, the daily chart, that we played that, literally we played that today, right? We're going to be going over that exact play tomorrow in our Thursday recap class, right? So, arc rule: when previous day close sets your motoring bias on Tesla, know where it is 9:30. Everything else is context. So knowing whether we're up or down in the pre-market is important, guys, right? Simple as that. If you guys are tuning into pre-market with Rich, you're already knowing the bias for the day. So let's go into breakdowns, right? So scenario A, let's say Tesla closed at 278 and it opens up at 284. So what, a $6 gap up? This equals bullish. Previous day close at 278 is now support. Calls are in play above it. So just like with any level, guys, if price goes from above to below, that previous resistance turns into support, right? It's just like the way an elevator works, going up and down the levels, right? So scenario B, Tesla closed at 278. Let's say it opens up at 271. That's a $7 gap down. Previous day close at 278 now becomes resistance. Stay in play until 278 is reclaimed. Very simple. Make sure that you always have a plan. We're closing up or opening above or below previous day close. Let's say scenario C, Tesla gaps down to 271, then sells to 268, then rallies back to above 278. Gap fill plus previous day close reclaim equals a strong call setup with momentum. We just talked about this before, where we see us open up below, then we go lower, and then we come up and reclaim that level, right? That's going to indicate to you a daily flip on the chart, right? Giving you more potential upside with a good ATR, right? Tesla has a really good ATR, guys. Usually moves at least $10 a day. So if you can catch that move from up to down on options, now with the 0 DTs that they offer, that's a 200-300% move at least. We caught 222 or 220% today, and then we have our swings on that are up still, what, 25% right now. So let's go mark our previous day close here on the chart. Let me flip my chart here. Boom. Okay, back at our chart, guys. So since this is a green candle, can someone tell me in the chat, where is the close of this candle? Is that at the top or the bottom of the body, guys? The top to low. Okay, let's mark the top of this body, which is the close, right? Okay, there it is. The close is going to be 381.26, guys. Okay, 381.26 is that close. So say price opens up right below our close. What is our first level of resistance, guys? Right? What's the first level of resistance? If we open up below this previous day close and we're looking for a move to the upside, what is the first level that we're really looking at? No, Tano, not if we open up below previous day low. I'm saying if we open up below previous day close. There you go, Louis. Yep, previous day close would be that first level of resistance based off the scenarios that we just went over, right? Alright, let's move forward here, guys. Now that we got over previous day low, previous day close, previous day high. Okay. What is our next level here? Gap levels. Tesla gaps more than almost any other stock, and those gaps are high probable trades. You guys know that I used to swing Tesla as well over the weekend, and we used to hit crazy. I haven't been trading her. I don't know why. I need to stop neglecting my baby girl, and we need to get back to that Tesla sniper Peter Piper. Hello. Okay. What is it? Gaps on Tesla are not rare events. They are normal. Elon tweets after hours, delivers numbers, drop pre-market, macro data hits overnight. These gaps create empty price zones that the market almost always comes back to fill. On Tesla, the gap fill trades are some of the cleanest and most repeatable setups available. The key is identifying the zone, understanding the catalyst, and knowing when to fade versus when to go with the gap. So, you have a gap. Tesla opens well above previous day close with no major catalyst. The gap zone below is unfilled. Watch for a fade. Enter puts as price starts filling. Right? Once you see that momentum to the downside and you have a big gap to the upside, you can play it as long as SPY and Q are correlating. Right? Then you have Gap up, which is a gap and go. Tesla gaps up on a major catalyst, let's say some huge news or deliveries beat. Don't fade it. Buy the first pullback and ride the continuation with calls. You guys know that usually happens after the first 30 minutes. Then you have gap down, fade the gap. Tesla opens well below previous day close without massive news. The zone above is unfilled. Watch for a rally back to it. Calls on the fill. Gap go. Tesla gaps down with real selling catalysts. Let's say a recall or a miss or something with the macros. Don't buy it. Let it run with puts next targeting next support. What is the ARC rule here? Tesla gaps are a routine event, not a surprise. Always have a gap fill plan and gap and go plan ready at the open, right? I used to play gap fills on Tesla every single day. So let's get into some of the scenarios that can happen with gaps. So scenario A, let's say Tesla closes at 278 and it opens up at 292. That's a 14 gap up with no major news. That 178 to that 278 292 gap zone is your target. Fill that gap with puts targeting 278. You can expect a bounce at that previous day close. Okay, so scenario B, Tesla closes at 278. It opens at 291 after a massive delivery beat in earnings. Don't fade this one. Buy the first 5-minute pullback for calls targeting that 300 psych level, right? So after big news, guys, you can potentially see continuation if the indexes are acting accordingly. How do you know if the indexes are acting accordingly? Waiting those first 30 minutes, seeing where prices in correlation to cloud and VWAP, right? If SPY and Qs are both telling you you're bullish and you're also getting a pullback on Tesla on the cloud and it's trading above, you know what that can indicate to you? Scenario B, hello, targeting that 300 psych. So scenario C, Tesla closes at 278. It opens up at 265. That's a $13 gap down on a recall announcement. Let the flush play first, then watch for a gap fill bounce. Calls once it stabilizes and starts reclaiming the zone. So now let's gap, right? Let's go over some gap levels on Tesla here. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. 2 minutes, guys. All right, I'm back, guys. Okay. Does everyone have their Tesla charts ready? Throw one in the chat if you guys have Tesla chart ready and you know daily time frame. Okay, cool. So you guys know that Tesla gaps pretty much every day. So let's go over the first gap levels that we're gonna go here. Before we get started, I just want you guys to take a little bit of notice. Tesla's price action, right, throughout the last couple of years, actually, right? So looking from, let's see, October here, you guys can see that Tesla has broken above and made new highs in the last couple of months, right? Ever since we've made new highs right around that 500 level, we have been in a consistent downtrend. So what are we anticipating right now, guys? We are anticipating for a break above our weekly and daily clouds. Right now, I don't have the clouds turned on because we are doing a charting class, but I will turn them on after and go over that play, right? So taking all of that into account, let's mark out our gap levels here. Okay, so going over our first gap, it's actually going to be from yesterday's close, right? So you guys can see that yesterday we closed right here and price hasn't come back down yet, right? Which means we have an unfilled gap to the downside here on the 31st, right? So since price gapped up, and this is a gap to the downside, we'll mark this as a yellow level. And since price hasn't filled it yet, we're going to make it a dotted line, right? So that's our first gap level there. What can we anticipate, guys? We can anticipate for price to come down and eventually fill this again, right? This is not in favor of our trade, but you know what? Gap levels to the upside that we're going to mark out pretty soon here, okay? So what is the next gap level here? It is going to be the day right after, guys, right? So looking at this previous day close here on the 30th, you can see that price closed right here, and we have not reclaimed that level, right? So we have another yellow line since price gapped up, making this a gap to the downside, and this is going to be a dotted line. Don't forget to lock your levels, guys, right? So just off the rip, just with the last 2 days that we've marked, right, we can see that eventually Tesla has to come back down to 370, 175, and then 3, right? We know that right now we're just we're bear trend. Not in a bear trend. We're downtrending on this stock, so we're anticipating a break above 285 to break this structure, right? Oh wow, I definitely got to cut that shit out. Okay, so we're in that break above, but we do have levels below. So going to our next level here, or actually before I move forward, does everyone have these two gaps marked? I'm gonna go send these in the chat right now for you guys. Before we move forward, I don't want to go too fast here. What made you switch from hourly gaps to the daily gaps? So just right now, because we're trading, because we're like Tesla, the Tesla gaps are a lot more aggressive, so they're easier to spot on a daily chart. Does that make sense? And you're going to be marking out more levels since it gaps more violently than, let's say, SPY or Qs, right? Boom. So, does everyone have these levels? Are we ready to go forward here, guys? We're going to mark out a couple more gaps here in this trend. Okay, ready? Okay, cool. Next gap level is going to be here on the 25th. So 3/25, 2026. It's going to be at the bottom of this candle close. What can we tell, guys? Right? Price closed here and we gapped down. We haven't been able to reclaim it. So if price gap down, this will make a gap to the upside, making it a purple line. And since price hasn't come up and filled it yet, well, you tell me, what is it going to do? Right now, we're pretty much at equilibrium between these two gaps. So it could go either way, guys, but we do have unfilled gaps to the upside that we are waiting to fill. And this 285.95 gap lines up with what? That lines up with our weekly cloud, guys. When we turn on the clouds, the levels will make a lot more sense, right? But going forward here, let's go find our next gap that we haven't filled yet, right? We filled in this gap. We haven't filled in this one. Hello. Look at this gap right here, guys. Our next gap is going to be 03 of 2026 on this green daily candle at the top of the body here. Boom, price gap downwards afterwards, and we have not filled in that gap yet. So since price gap down, this is a gap level to the upside, and since it is unfilled, we will make it dotted, right? Boom. This is going to be our next level here. Kaboom, kabow, right here, guys. Another unfilled gap to the upside, which is going to be on 02/25, 2026 at the top of this green daily candle. Price gap down, making this a gap level to the upside. And since price hasn't come and filled this level yet, what do we say, guys? Dotted line, right? So, based off of what I just showed you right now, guys, right? Look at this. We already have a good amount of levels marked out here without having any filled gaps yet, right? Just a bunch of unfilled gap levels. You guys ready for the next one? Let me send a screenshot here just to make sure that you guys are staying in tune. Boom. Okay, there you got those levels. You guys understand how I'm getting these levels? Nobody's confused, correct? All right, let's go to our next gap level here, guys. Right, so looking for the gaps to the upside. Boom, boom, boom. So we're going to go back to January. So 01/23, 2026 is going to be on this green candle right here at the top of the body, right? So price gap downwards, making this a gap level to the upside, making it a purple line. And since price hasn't come up and filled the gap yet, it is going to be dotted, right? Boom. So let's continue with this trend up here. Let's see, price close right here. Price right here. Okay, our next level here, guys, is going to be last year. So 12/26, 2025 at the bottom of this red candle. The level is going to be 475.19. Price gap downwards, making this a gap level to the upside, making it a purple line, and it will be dotted since we haven't filled it yet, right? So only 4 days after this is the all-time high, guys, right? So what is that going to tell you? We're not going to have any more unfilled gaps to the upside. So these are all of our current unfilled gaps to the upside, guys. Y'all see that? Tenemos ojos? Does everyone have these levels marked out on their chart? These are fast levels for you guys to have, because one day we're going to cross them, and one day we're going to use them as a resistance until we use them as a support, right? It's important to have these levels, guys. I'm sending them in the chat right now. Let's see. At ARC Premium, all of our... Oh, shoot. I'll tag Jarvis, too. These are all of our filled gaps to Tesla Daily. purple dotted lines. Okay, damn. I don't know why my caps lock are on. What is that? Okay, my bad, guys. Okay, boom, boom. Everyone have all of our unfilled gaps marked to the upside? But so we can continue here? Let me know, guys. Panda's ready. I see Nolan, Jay, Sid, Benjamin, Buy Box Shay, Joey, Meow, Aldo, Danny. We all ready, guys? Ready, ready, ready. Let's continue, guys. Getting a little sick. I don't know if you guys can notice. Okay, so what is the next thing that we will be looking at here on Tesla? We are going to be looking at psychological levels. Round numbers attract massive order flow on one of the world's most emotional stocks. What is this? Such psychological levels on Tesla carry more weight than on SPY or QQQ because retail participation is so high. Millions of retail traders are watching the same round numbers and they're all placing their orders there. The $10 to $50 increments create the most visible reactions. When Tesla clears a major psych level, the move to the next one can be fast and violent, right? So you have your major levels. So at every $50 mark, for example, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450, 500. These are the biggest magnets, strong reactions, and most defended. Treat it like a wall. Then you have your minor levels, right? So every $10 marks. So levels like 260, 270, 280, 290, etc. These are secondary magnets. These are still meaningful, but they are defended less than the $50 marks. So, approaching a psych level, let's say Tesla is grinding towards this equals, and you're to expect a slowdown or reversal. Don't buy into major level blind. Wait for a reaction, right? So, in breakthrough, let's say Tesla clears 300 with volume and holds above it on a retest. This equals price discovery mode. Fast move, 350 becomes the play, right? So, work rule. Tesla is more retail driven than SPY or QQQ. Round numbers matter more here. Mark every $10 to $50 level. Always, right? You're going to either mark it mentally or you're going to mark it on your chart if you're more of a beginner. But if you've been trading, for a year, you should know that every $10 move on Tesla is going to be, you need to treat it with a little more respect, right? So, going over the Tesla breakdown, these are real scenarios, real numbers, real setups. So scenario A, $300 is a massive level on Tesla. Every retail trader has it circled. Price approaching 300 equals to expect a fight, have both a rejection and a breakout plan, right? So just be prepared for any scenario. Scenario B, Tesla rejects 300 three times over 2 weeks. The fourth attempt breaks above with a strong Friday close and high volume. 350 becomes the next target. Then you have scenario C, Tesla is stuck below 250 for a month and it finally closes above it with conviction. 250 flips to a support. The $250 to $300 range opens up, calls in play, right? So how do you mark it? You mark every $50 move first, then mark every $10 move. Know which is next before the price gets there. Plan reactions before it happens, right? If you always have a plan, you will never, not knowing what's going on, right? So we're just going to mark out a couple levels here, guys. We're just going to do the every $50 move, right? So for example here, our first level that we'll mark out is going to be here. Let's do a horizontal lines. For this one, first one will be here at 350, right? So boom, first level there at 350, lock that in. Then let's do our next level here at 400. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's get this right. Great. I hate when I have to zoom in so much just for a level. Okay, we'll make the different color as well. We'll make them white. Cool. For every $50 move here, guys. Right, so it would be 350, 400, then our next one would be 450, which lines up with a gap fill level here. Boom, change it to white, lock it in. Next level being 500, which, that lines up with our previous all-time high, or with the current all-time high. All right, let's see here, guys. All right, whatever. 1 cent off isn't going to kill anybody. Okay, boom. You see that? There we go. There we have our psych levels in white. Boom. Bet. Okay. So those are psychological levels. You're always going to keep those in mind, guys. Right? Let's move forward here. Damn, I just realized that I didn't show them. It's fine. Here, I'll just do it for the recording real quick. All right, so now down here you have your 350 level, then you have your 400 psych level, 450 psych level lining up with a gap, unfilled gap, and then you have 500 lining up with our current all-time high. Right? So going back to the slideshow here. Boom. Okay, so higher frame support and resistance. TSLA-specific zones where algorithmic order flow defends price. Harder to break than normal support and resistance. So, what is this? High frequency trading algorithms operate massive positions on Tesla 24/7. They defend specific prices with enormous order flow, creating walls of support and resistance that are more reliable and more defended than your everyday support and resistance levels. These aren't drawn by looking at chart history. They are known zones where algo order books are stacked. On Tesla, 380 is a major high frame or trading support zone. 460 is the major HTF resistance. So HTF support zone is, once again, like I just said, 380 zone. Algos have massive buy orders that stack from 375 to 385 zone. When Tesla approaches 380 from above, expect significant buying pressure to step in. This zone has held multiple times. It is not a coincidence. Then you have your HFT resistance zone is 460 zone. Algos have massive sell orders and short positions stacked at 455 to 465 zone. Price approaching 460 from below faces of automated selling. Multiple rejections prove this zone is algo defended. So, arc rule, these zones don't move often. When Tesla is between 350 and 460, you are in a range. Know where you are relative to both at all times. So, HFT Tesla breakdown. Real scenarios where HFT zones indicate or dictate the scenario A. Let's say Tesla is at 395 and selling off. It drops towards 380. As it the 375 to 385 zone, you start seeing buying volume pickup. Long wicks on the 1-minute candles and price stalling. That's the HTF support absorbing sell orders. Call setup on the bounce with a stop below 375. So at the low of that zone, right? If it breaks below the zone, you can expect to go back into the range. So let's say scenario B, Tesla is at 350 or 345 and rallies hard. It enters that 465 zone and starts decelerating. Let's say volume dries up and you see short wicks and failed attempts to push higher. The HFT resistance is holding. Puts on the rejection. Your target is back towards that 440, then 420, right? So then you have scenario C. Let's say Tesla is up at 458 and breaks above 465 with massive volume and a strong catalyst. The HFT resistance zone have been busted. This algos are repositioning. A break above 460 with conviction could send towards Tesla 500 psychological next. This is a call opportunity. Don't fade the break, right? So what does this tell you guys? When we finally see a break above this 380 zone, right? What can we start to see? See a break above back to that higher time or resistance, right? Back up at 380, right? Gangsta. Where are we right now, guys? Let me ask you guys where we're at right now. Who knows where Tesla's at right now in the after hours? Someone answer me. Where's Tesla at right now in the after hours? 379, right? 379. What are we just talking about? If Tesla can break above 380, what can we expect, guys? If we can break above 380 with volume and momentum going into this last trading day for the week, what can we expect? Words are on the screen, guys. Well, not exactly, but the concept is on the screen. We can expect to go up further, right? back into that range. Okay, guys? So, 6 levels on Tesla, stacking confluences before entering a trade. This is just a pre-automated confluence checklist for you guys with different color coordination. So if you guys want to take a screenshot of this, you can do so. But yeah, let's move on here. So, SPY versus QQQ versus Tesla. Same levels, same rules, different personalities on each. So, what are the attributes, right? Daily move on SPY and QQQ, you're going to see a 0.5 to 1.5% move on SPY and a 0.8 to 2.5% move on Qs. Meanwhile, Tesla, you are seeing a 3 to 8% move plus. Then for frequency, it's going to be rare on SPY, occasional on QQQ, and it's going to be constant on Tesla. The gap sizes for SPY are anywhere from 50 cents to $2. For Qs, it's $1 to $5, and for Tesla, it's $5 to $25. For your psychological levels on SPY, it's every $5 to $10 mark. Same thing with QQQ, and on Tesla, it's every $10 to $50 mark. Then you have your HFT zones. There's many. They're spread out on SPY and QQQ, but for Tesla, that it's going to be that 380 support and that 460 resistance. News sensibility, SPY and QQQ are both macro driven, and Q is also affected by tech earnings. And Tesla, news sensitivity, one Elon tweet can equal a $10 move, right? You guys have seen recently that he hasn't been tweeting. He hasn't been doing that much stuff in the media. So what is that doing to the stock? Since he's being quiet, the stock is quieting it down too, right? So for the stop placement on SPY and Qs, it is tight. You need a moderate, SPY and QQ. For Tesla, you need to give it room because it fakes out with all the volatility, right? So what is best for? SPY is best for slow conviction. Qs is best for momentum plays. And Tesla is best for playing the volatility and the levels, right? So, Tesla daily prep routine. This is what you want to do before trading Tesla every morning. So you're going to want to check the overnight news, see if Elon tweeted, see if there was any recalls, any delivery updates. Tesla can gap up $10 to $25 before the bell. Know why before you trade it. Then the second thing what you're going to do is you're going to your previous day high, previous day close. This is non-negotiable. Draw all three before they open. These are your daily range and bias. Number 3, identify the gaps. Compare previous day close to pre-market price. If there's a gap, mark the zone. It's a magnet. Number 4, mark your psych levels. Nearest $10 to $50 marks to current price. Know where the round number magnets are. Then you have 5. Note the higher to HTF zones is priced near 380 or 460. Near support, you can equal or equals to leaning calls on the bounces. Near resistance, you can lean to puts on rejections. Number 6 is find the top confluences. Where do two levels stack? That's your highest probable setup zone for the session. Right, so right now we're lining up with our previous day close at 381 and our HT zone at 380, right? If we continue to hold this will be a really nice bounce, guys, right? So number 7, set your bias above previous day close plus above HFT. This equals bullish. Below previous day close and near HFT resistance equals bearish. Pick a lane. Now you're ready, you have your levels marked, you have your bias set, you have your gaps, your HFT zones are flagged, and now you watch price and wait for a reaction and you execute on the cloud bounces, right? So that was charting class numero 3 for our capital, guys. We went over Tesla today, going over previous day high, previous day close, previous day low. We went over the gap levels, the psych levels, the HFT zones. These are all very important when day-to-day trading Tesla, right? This is coming from someone who traded Tesla for over a year only. Strictly was my baby girl. But guess what, guys? We're back and we're trading Tesla this week. So, facts. Anyone has any questions here before we wrap it up and go into prayer? Let me know, guys. The Trump talking right now. Is it too late to get in tomorrow for a Tesla 400? No, it's not too late at all, brother. Yeah, I miss the trendy Tesla and indexes. Me too. Once we get into a good market again, it's going to be fire. So No worries. You guys holding into the weekend, we have to really see how tomorrow closes. Depending on how tomorrow closes is if we're going to hold or not. You know, if we see a close above 385, I'm definitely holding. But if we get any close below 380, that's the plan. Stick with the plan, Stan. Hello. Any other questions, guys? We off Friday, right? Yes, we don't have any live trading Friday. The market is closed, but we will be doing our Bible study a little bit earlier. We'll be doing it at, I think, 12 p.m. instead of 4 or 5. Yeah, because of Friday. Facts. Markets are closed because Jesus is King. Hello. Any other questions, guys? I'll get this class uploaded to you guys pretty shortly here. It doesn't look like anyone else has any other questions. Let me get right into prayer then, guys. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, I'd just like to thank you so much for waking us up today. Thank you for giving us another breath of life, and thank you for giving us to be able to sit here and do what we do, Lord. Thank you for giving us the patience, the discipline, and the consistency to show up every day even when the markets aren't showing the best conditions. I just appreciate you for showing our students what it is to sit in choppy markets and to show them when it's the right time to execute. So I just ask you to continue to guide us throughout our journey and just lead us into having a great weekend where we can celebrate with you, Lord. And I ask you to touch the heart of anyone who's listening to this right now who needs your love. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. For you class guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope everyone has their levels 4 Tesla here. I'm going to send them once again, right? And let's kill it tomorrow, guys. We have some swings on. We're going to be managing off the open, and then we're going to be looking for any ads, right? As of right now, I only have 5 cons on Tesla, but I'm looking to add 5 more. So let's see, guys. Are we going to get that nice close, or are we going to get out of this trade early tomorrow? You know? Make sure to tune in to that pre-market with Rich. And, yeah, I hope all you guys enjoyed. Facts. He already has him in his memory. Hello. God bless y'all. Peace.